Well, we've got a bright, beautiful, sunny, and a little bit chilly morning here in Costa Mesa. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Today, hopefully, we'll have time to read what I have to say about the Moon card and the Sun card of the Thoth Tarot from Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. First of all, thanks everyone for all the kind wishes and notes and hearts and emojis that you sent yesterday. We had well over 1,300 acknowledgments of our 53rd wedding anniversary, which was yesterday. And so we're both, Constance and I are both very, very gratified by that. So thank you very much, everyone. Also, if you haven't registered for tomorrow night's reincarnation, little Enochian ritual to try to gain visions of previous incarnations, please do so today. Don't wait till tomorrow to register. So that being said, let's talk about the Moon card. So that's one more little view of it there. There it is. Obviously, Frida Harris put a water spider there instead of a crayfish or lobster or scarab. And look at those yods, those bloody yods. It's a cool looking card nonetheless. The Moon, Atu 18, the ruler of the flux and reflux, the child of the sons of the mighty. It's the zodiacal trump of Pisces. Jupiter rules Pisces and Venus is exalted. The original design is the waning moon. Below, a path leads between two towers, guarded by jackals from the sea, where a scarab marches landward. Those aren't jackals from the sea. Let me put that better. The original design is the waning moon. Below, a path leads between two towers, guarded by jackals. From the sea, wherein a scarabus marcheth landwards. Okay, so that's that. The Hebrew letter is Kuf, which is the back of the head. In the Tree of Life, it's path number 29, which joins 7 Netzach victory to 10 Malkuth kingdom. The colors are crimson, ultraviolet, buff, fleck silver, white, light, translucent pinkish brown, and stone color. The little quote from Heart of the Master: "Let the illusion of the world pass over thee unheeded, as thou goest from midnight to the morning." In the Book of Thoth, Crowley says, in this trump, her lowest avatar, she joins the earthly sphere of Netzach with Malkuth, the moon of witchcraft and abominable deeds. She is the poisoned darkness, which is the condition of the rebirth of light. There's no doubt about it. This is a spooky card. It represents the light it represents the light that darkness creates. It is the light that illuminates your dreams and your nightmares. We recall that the trump attributed to the moon is Atu 2, the priestess. She is the waxing moon and represents Luna in her higher aspect, that of forming a link between the human and the divine. The path of the priestess crosses the abyss, joins Tifereth and Kether. In Atu 18, the moon is a very different aspect of Luna. And the most cheerful thing I can think to say about it is, it'll change. Now, before many of my brothers and sisters in the craft take offense, let me hasten to point out that the witchcraft Crowley is referring to in the above quote is not the nature-loving and life-affirming religions of the neo-pagan movements that have proliferated around the world since his death in 1947. It is more the imagined witchcraft, spawned in tormented and obscene fantasies of the fanatic witch hunters. The moonlight in Atu 18 is that which illuminates the phantasmagoric nightmares of all of us who cannot acknowledge the dark horrors of our own fears. The moon card shows a path through and beyond this nightmare, but it is not an easy path, and the myths of all the ages and cultures prove that this journey through the poisoned darkness is an obligatory chapter in every hero's quest. As Crowley warns, quote, "This path is guarded by taboo. She is uncleanness and sorcery. Upon the hills are the black towers of nameless mystery, of horror and fear. All prejudice, all superstition, dead tradition, and ancestral loathing, all combine to darken her face before the eyes of men. It needs unconquerable courage to begin to tread this path." Harris's rendering is disturbingly haunting, but it's not too dissimilar to the traditional image. The path runs between two towers guarded by twin figures of the Egyptian god Anubis, god of embalming and guardian of the cities of the dead. Poison drips from the dying moon. The creature walking out of the water at the bottom of the card represents the scarab beetle, symbolic of the Egyptian god Khepra, who is the god of the sun at midnight. Traditional decks usually show a crawfish or even a lobster instead of a scarab, and the symbolism of the Lord of the Sun at midnight becomes somewhat lost in memories of melted butter. I must confess, Harris's scarab doesn't look very scaraby either. In fact, it's a water spider. Nevertheless, it carries the sun out of the dark water, and by doing so, assures us that this awful night will eventually come to an end. In the Book of Thoth, Crowley also assures the courageous seeker in his last words concerning this card. One is reminded, quote, "One is reminded of the mental echo of subconscious realization, of that supreme iniquity which mystics have constantly celebrated in their accounts of the dark night of the soul. But the best men, the true men, do not consider the matter in such terms at all. Whatever horrors may afflict the soul, whatever abominations may excite the loathing of the heart, whatever terrors may assail the mind, the answer is the same at every stage. How splendid is the adventure! Okay, yes, we do have time. The Sun card. We're nearing the end of our Trump series, or our Greater Arcana series. This is perhaps when you go to somebody's house who loves the tarot card. Many people have a blow-up of this card hanging from the wall somewhere in their house or temple. The Sun, Atu 19. The official title is The Lord of the Fire of the World. It's the planetary trump of the Sun. The original design is a sun. Below is a wall, in front of which, in a fairy ring, two children wantonly and shamelessly embrace. The Hebrew letter is Resh, which means head or face. On the Tree of Life, it's path 30, which joins 8 Hod Splendor to 9 Yesod Foundation. The colors are orange, gold yellow, rich amber, and amber rayed red. From Heart of the Master, the little quote is, "Give forth thy light to all without doubt. The clouds and shadows are no matter for thee. Make speech and silence, energy and stillness twin forms of thy play. Every man and every woman is a star." In fortune-telling traditions, the sun is often interpreted as the card representing the querent, or the face the querent shows to the world. This indicates to me that deep down inside, all of us are inherently aware that we are ultimately solar beings. Crowley explains, quote, "This is one of the simplest of the cards. It represents Heru Ra Ha, the Lord of the new Aeon, in his manifestation to the race of men as the sun, spiritual, moral, and physical. He is the Lord of light, life, liberty, and love. This Aeon has for its purpose the complete emancipation of the human race." Unquote. That's quite a statement. And I believe Crowley meant every word of it. Whenever I'm asked to explain the philosophy, or if you prefer the religion, of Thelema, the first thing I usually tell people is this: it is a modern form of sun worship. But then I'm quick to add, and when I use the word sun, I'm also referring to myself. Whether or not Crowley would have agreed with my gross generalization is debatable. I believe, however, that it does describe in the most primitive terms the essence of Thelema. Now that human consciousness has been subtly mutated with the knowledge that the sun continually exists, that it neither dies at night nor plunges toward extinction in the autumn, we as a race are poised to identify our own consciousness with that same phenomenon. Just as sunlight is perpetual, consciousness is continuous. Death is an illusion every bit as much as night is an illusion. Immortality is simply consciousness of the continuity of existence. Haru-Ra-Ha is a unique name for the two opposite and equal forms of the Egyptian god Horus. Hur-Par-Krat is the passive, innocent god of silence and infinite potential, often portrayed as a baby curled in the fetal position, pressing his thumb or forefinger to his lips. Ra-Hur-Kut is the active, violent, hawk-headed avenger of the gods. Combined under one name, Haru-Ra-Ha, they are the divine expression of the passive-active dynamics of the element spirit. Harris depicts the classic Egyptian images of both these gods in Atu 20, the Aeon, which we'll talk about tomorrow. Now, why should the sun, the ultimate symbol of unity and singularity in our solar system, be identified with this double nature? From time immemorial, the doctrine of twin suns has bubbled secretly in the sanctuaries of the mysteries. Ancient traditions speak of a twin of Earth's sun, about which it and our entire solar system rotate in a dance of hundreds of millions of years. Early Gnostic Christians dubbed Satan the twin of Christ, suggesting a great solar mystery hidden in that relationship. Whatever may have been the original circumstances and motives that created these ancient traditions, modern science affirms that the secret of the sun is indeed the perpetual struggle of two titanic forces. The active thermonuclear process that burns the sun's fuel and radiates light and energy outward into space, and the passive gravitational presence of the sun's own mass. The former keeps the sun from collapsing in upon itself, and the latter keeps the burning process perpetually contained and stable. The twin babies in the Fool card, and the children, and the bride and groom in the Lovers are early tarot incarnations of the two dancing children we find in the Sun card. According to Crowley, quote, "They represent the male and female, eternally young, shameless, and innocent. They are dancing in the light, yet they dwell on the earth. They represent the next stage, which is to be attained by mankind, in which complete freedom is alike the cause and the result of the new access of solar energy upon the earth." And that's what we have to say about the Sun card. Tomorrow we'll pick it up again with the Aeon, and we'll finish off the Greater Arcana with the Universe card. I believe we'll be doing that tomorrow too. Remember tomorrow night's workshop, and continue to enjoy your week. Continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. And every man and every woman is a star.